What's good, hoop heads? Your courtside analyst Tips and Streams is back in the game. On the slate today, breakdowns for the latest NBA matchups set to light up the hardwood. Before we tip off, make sure you slam that subscribe button on our YouTube channel to stay in the loop with all our predictions and top picks. So, let's get started. The first today's prediction is for matchup between Milwaukee Bucks and Charlotte Hornets. The upcoming clash between the Milwaukee Bucks and the Charlotte Hornets at the Spectrum Center is an intriguing matchup in the NBA in-season tournament. The Bucks, standing at 7-4 with a 2-8-1 ATS, recently celebrated a win over Toronto, showcasing their offensive prowess, even without Giannis Antetokounmpo, who missed the game with a strained calf, and is a game-time decision for this matchup. Damian Lillard and Malik Beasley stepped up in Giannis' absence, dropping 37 and 30 points respectively. Milwaukee's offense ranks 6th in efficiency, a testament to their scoring abilities. However, their defense, ranking 19th, could be a point of concern. The Hornets, with a record of 3-7 and 5-5 ATS, are welcoming back Miles Bridges after a lengthy absence. Their recent loss to Miami, despite strong performances from PJ Washington and LaMelo Ball, highlighted their defensive struggles, ranking last in the league in defensive efficiency. The potential return of Giannis could exacerbate these issues for Charlotte. The Bucks have an upper hand in shooting efficiency, field goal percentage, 47.77% versus 47.85%, and three-point percentage, 35.48% versus 32.8%. Moreover, the Bucks have dominated past matchups in Charlotte, holding a 10-5 record. Given these factors, especially Milwaukee's superior offensive efficiency and Charlotte's defensive woes, the prediction leans towards the Bucks. The return of Giannis would further tilt the odds in their favor. Expect a high-scoring game with the Bucks likely to cover the spread. Play Milwaukee Bucks minus 4.5. The next prediction is for the match between New York Knicks and Washington Wizards. The New York Knicks, boasting a record of 6-5, are gearing up to take on the beleaguered Washington Wizards, currently languishing at 2-9. Hitting the hardwood at Capital One Arena, the Knicks are looking to keep their winning streak alive, following their recent victory over Atlanta. Historically, they've had the Wizards' number, dominating them with an 8-2 advantage in their last 10 showdowns. Offensively, the Knicks are lighting up the scoreboard, dropping an average of 109.1 points per game, thanks to Julius Randle's powerhouse performances. Even with the status of R.J. Barrett and Quentin Grimes up in the air, they've kept it tight on defense, allowing just 125.2 points per game on average. Meanwhile, the Wizards find themselves in a slump, suffering through a 4-game skid and only managing to rack up an average of 115.5 points. Their defense, however, has been hemorrhaging points, giving up a hefty 123.2 points per game. Looking back at their recent clashes in Washington, the Knicks have clearly been the dominant force, giving them a leg up in this upcoming contest. The Wizards have faltered in their last 3 games on their home court, with their offense fizzling out to less than 110 points per game in their last 3 outings. The Knicks hold a significant edge in shooting accuracy and crashing the boards defensively. The Wizards' sloppy ball handling is a boon for the Knicks, who've been snatching more than 7 steals per game, setting them up for a plethora of scoring drives. Given the Wizards' porous defense and the Knicks' dynamic offense and stout defense, particularly on the road, it looks like New York is in a prime spot to beat the spread. Bet on the New York Knicks with a minus 6.5 point spread. The next prediction is for the match between Philadelphia 76ers and Atlanta Hawks. The Philadelphia 76ers, balling at an impressive 8-3, are gearing up for a mid-season showdown with the Atlanta Hawks, who are rocking a 6-5 record. This face-off at the State Farm Arena is set to be a scoreboard light-up, as both squads are packing some serious offensive heat this season. Philly, even with a couple of recent L's, still flaunts a hefty offensive game, dropping an average of 119.9 points each night. Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey have been the main guns for the Sixers, although they'll be without Kelly Oubre Jr. and maybe Nicholas Batum for this bout. On the road, the 76ers have been keeping it tight, holding a solid 2-1 record in away games. The Hawks, fresh off a tight tussle with the New York Knicks, are posting slightly more on the scoreboard with 120.3 points per game. The Atlanta crew, led by Trae Young and Bogdan Bogdanovic, is slightly edging out Philly in the scoring department. When it comes to previous matchups, Philly's got the upper hand with a 6-4 record against Atlanta in their last 10 showdowns. Both teams have been struggling to beat the odds this season, but the 76ers are showing a tad more consistency. Looking at the shooting stats, the 76ers are a step ahead with a 48.65% field goal percentage, just over the Hawks' 47.40%. Philly's stronger defensive rebounding game might just tip the scales in their favor in this matchup. Considering these points, the 76ers are the bet to back. They're shooting sharper overall, and their recent form in Atlanta gives them the advantage. Bank on the Philadelphia 76ers to snag the win and beat a -1 point spread. The next prediction is for the match between Detroit Pistons and Cleveland Cavaliers. In the hoopla of the NBA, the Detroit Pistons and Cleveland Cavaliers are gearing up for a showdown that's shaping up to be a real nail-biter. The Pistons, holding a 2-10 record, are hungry to overturn their 4-game road skid and the longer streak of 9 losses. They've got a knack for scoring, averaging 110.6 points a game, but their defense is letting them down, leaking 115.2 points on average. The iffy status of Jalen Duren is throwing a wrench into their game plan, adding to their woes. On the flip side, the Cavaliers are strutting in with a bit more swagger, boasting a 5-6 record and clinching 3 victories in their last 5 outings. They're dropping an average of 110.5 points per game, showing off a steady offensive rhythm. But don't be fooled, they've got their own defensive headaches, giving up 112.2 points per game. Their lineup might wobble with Ty Jerome, Darius Garland, and Isaac Okoro potentially sitting out. Yet, their recent track record, especially their flair for racking up over 115 points in 4 of their recent 5 games, hints they've got the upper hand in this home court hustle. So what's the play? All signs point to the Cavaliers as the team to bet on. They've been throwing down more consistently against the Pistons lately. The smart money is on the Cavs to beat the spread of 8 points. Plus, with both squads having a knack for offense but slipping on defense, expect a scoreboard bonanza, likely tipping over the over-under line. This one's shaping up to be a high-scoring thriller. The next today's prediction is for the match between Boston Celtics and Toronto Raptors. The Celtics are soaring high, rocking a stellar 9-2 record and dominating the Eastern Conference. Their resilience is on full display, snagging 4 straight wins despite some key players being on the sidelines. Jason Tatum and Derek White have been the linchpins, bringing their A-game and highlighting Boston's versatility and depth. Offensively, they're a powerhouse, dropping an average of 119.4 points per game, and they're just as formidable on defense, keeping opponents to a mere 106. 0 points. Their prowess on the boards, ranked second in the NBA, just cements their control of the court. On the flip side, the Raptors, sitting at 5-6, are hustling to get their groove back. A recent setback against the Bucks knocked them down a peg. Even with the likes of Scotty Barnes and Jakob Poeltl putting up a fight, Toronto's game has hit some snags, particularly in guarding the arc and from downtown. They're netting 108.5 points per game, but giving up 110.9 on defense. They're ace in the hole. They're lightning fast breaks, putting them among the league's best. When it comes to head-to-heads, Boston's got the upper hand, clinching 5 out of their last 6 bouts against Toronto. Their latest showdown on November 11th was a clear Celtics victory, underscoring their edge in this rivalry. Eyeing up these factors, the Celtics' top-tier offense and defense, especially in snagging rebounds and sinking shots, sets them apart. The Raptors' shaky perimeter defense might just crumble against Boston's sharpshooters. Plus, the Celtics' recent hot streak, including some big-time wins, shows they've got the steam to keep rolling. Bottom line, the Boston Celtics are locked and loaded to clinch this win and beat the spread, backed by their solid play, sharp shooting, and dominance on the rebound, while exploiting the Raptors' weak spots and defensive gaps. Bank on the Boston Celtics to triumph and beat the spread. The next prediction is for the match between Sacramento Kings and San Antonio Spurs. The Sacramento Kings are slam-dunking their way through the league with a hot 4-game win streak, boosting their stats to a solid 6-4. Their latest face-off against the Los Angeles Lakers was nothing short of a masterclass, with the Kings owning the court in the first quarter, cruising to an easy W. The Kings' offense is firing on all cylinders, dropping an impressive 1 on 14, 6 points per game, ranking them 10th in the league. They're doing this despite shooting a modest 45.7% from the hardwood and 33.9% from downtown. On defense, they're allowing 114.4 points per game, which puts their defensive rating at 18th in the league at 113.7. Domantas Sabonis is balling out big time, posting a double-double with 29 points and 16 boards against the Lakers. De'Aaron Fox is also a key playmaker, racking up 30 points, 4 rebounds, and 5.8 dimes a night. The San Antonio Spurs, on the flip side, are stuck in a rut with a 6-game skid, sitting at a 3-8 record. Their defense is springing leaks left and right, giving up a league-high 124.1 points per game. On offense, they're netting 110.6 points per game, which is 21st in the league. They're shooting 46.5% from the field, but are getting tripped up by turnovers and inconsistent plays. Victor Wembanyama, the rookie sensation, is still getting acclimated to the NBA's rough and tumble. Head-to-head, the Kings have owned the Spurs in their last 6 matchups. This season, Sacramento is beating the odds, going 6-4 against the spread, while the Spurs trail at 4-7. The Kings are in prime shape, especially with De'Aaron Fox back in the game, adding serious firepower to their lineup. Looking at the current form in the stat sheet, the Kings are the clear favorites in this showdown. Their high-octane offense and somewhat sturdier defense, juxtaposed with the Spurs' defensive struggles, tip the scales in Sacramento's favor. The Kings' knack for turning turnovers into points and their dynamic offense led by Fox and Sabonis are set to outplay the Spurs' wobbly game. The Sacramento Kings are ready to extend their victory parade against the San Antonio Spurs. Armed with a potent offense and a tightening defense, the Kings are likely to exploit the Spurs' defensive shortcomings. Expect the Kings to dominate the hardwood, leading to a triumphant finish and covering the spread. Bet on the Sacramento Kings -7. The next prediction is for the match between Orlando Magic and Chicago Bulls. The Orlando Magic, boasting a record of 6-5, are gearing up for a showdown against the Chicago Bulls, who are currently 4-8 at the United Center. Riding the wave of a nail-biting 96-94 victory over the Bulls just 2 evenings ago, Orlando is buzzing with high spirits. The Magic have displayed formidable grit, led by Paolo Banchero's clutch performance in sinking the decisive game winner. Their recent outings highlight a formidable defense, a key factor in games where points are at a premium. Despite ranking 29th in offensive firepower, their 6th place in defensive prowess creates a balance, turning their offensive shortcomings into a defensive fortress. Meanwhile, the Bulls, grappling with a 25th place in offensive effectiveness, are trying to navigate through a sea of inconsistencies. The duo of Zach LaVine and Nikola Vucevic has been critical, yet the absence of DeMar DeRozan was deeply felt in their latest clash. Anticipating DeRozan's return, Chicago's offensive gears might kick into a higher speed, but their struggle in defensive rebounding, sitting at 28th, looms as a glaring weakness against Orlando's rebounding strength. Looking back, the Bulls have historically dominated the regular season encounters with a 65-57 lead. However, recent patterns tilt in favor of Orlando, with back-to-back victories over Chicago. Given Orlando's rebounding solidity, defensive sharpness, and the Bulls' recent woes in scoring and rebounding, another triumph seems on the cards for Orlando. Chicago's home turf and DeRozan's potential comeback might not be sufficient to bridge the gap posed by their current hurdles. Orlando's tenacious defense and rebounding mastery, countering Chicago's faltering offense and rebounding woes, suggest that the Magic are well placed to secure another victory in this duel. Let's bank on Orlando Magic with an edge of 1.5 points. The next prediction is for the match between Denver Nuggets and New Orleans Pelicans. Tonight's showdown in the Smoothie King Arena is a high-stakes battle between the Denver Nuggets, boasting an impressive 9-2 record, and the New Orleans Pelicans, currently hovering at 5-6. Riding the wave of their recent squeaker against the LA Clippers, the Nuggets, who are the top dogs of the Northwest Division, are ready to ball. The Pelicans, re-energized by the comeback of key players like Herb Jones and Brandon Ingram, are also on a roll after dunking a win against the Dallas Mavericks. Nikola Jokic, the Nuggets' main man, is dropping dimes with averages of 30 points, 13.9 boards, and 8.4 assists. Even without Jamal Murray, their second-in-command, the Nuggets are keeping the scoreboard ticking. The Pelicans, powered by Zion Williamson's stellar plays, are gearing up to give Denver a run for their money. Stats-wise, Denver's got the upper hand in shooting, rocking a 50.51% field goal average, leaving New Orleans' 45.95% in the dust. The Nuggets also lead the charge in total points, rebounds, and assists, key plays that could tilt the court in their favor. But don't count the Pelicans out yet. With their home court vibe and recent hot streak, especially with Williamson and Ingram lighting up the scoreboard. In their last 10 face-offs, Denver's been owning the court with a 7-3 record against New Orleans. Their 2-1 advantage in recent games adds to their momentum. This, combined with their sharpshooting and killer offensive stats, tips the scales slightly towards the Nuggets. Considering both squads' recent playbooks and stats, my money's on the Denver Nuggets to snag the W in a nail-biter. Their sharpshooting and rebound game put them a step ahead of the Pelicans, but with New Orleans' home court hustle and signs of a comeback, it's going to be a rim-rattling showdown with the Nuggets just slipping by. I'm calling it close, leaning towards a Nuggets victory. But with the game on New Orleans turf and the Pelicans looking to beat the spread, I'm betting on New Orleans Pelicans +5. The next prediction is for the match between Phoenix Suns and Utah Jazz. In the Hoops Showdown set for November 17th, 2023, at the Delta Center, the Phoenix Suns and the Utah Jazz are prepped to bring their A-game. The Suns, riding a wave of success, nailed 3 victories in their last 5 matchups. Their recent takedown of the Timberwolves showcased their sharpshooting prowess, netting a sizzling 60% field goal success rate and crushing it from beyond the arc, with 17 out of 31 three-pointers sinking in. The trio of Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Eric Gordon has been instrumental in powering the Suns' surge. What's more, their road game record is stellar, with 12 consecutive wins as the favored team, despite some hiccups in beating the spread post-home victories. Meanwhile, the Utah Jazz are also revving up, bagging back-to-back wins, including a stellar triumph over the Trailblazers. Jordan Clarkson's explosive 39-point extravaganza and Lauri Markkanen's consistent firepower have been the Jazz's backbone, They boast an enviable home record against Pacific Division foes, with losing streaks triumphing in 19 of their last 20 encounters. Yet, they often exceed the total points line when they're underdogs after a home win. Advanced analytics and machine learning weigh in, tipping the odds in favor of the Suns with a 64% victory probability. Devin Booker is pegged as the Suns' linchpin, while Lauri Markkanen is anticipated to spearhead the Jazz's charge. In their recent face-offs, the Suns have outshone the Jazz in 4 out of their last 6 clashes, hinting at their slight dominance. Both squads, however, are neck and neck in offensive firepower, though the Suns edge out with a tighter defense. Given the Suns' sharp field goal shooting, their knack for clinching road games, and their upper hand in recent direct confrontations, my bet is on the Suns to not only win, but also cover the spread. I will take the Suns to win and cover minus 5.5. The next prediction is for the match between Los Angeles Lakers and Portland Trailblazers. The upcoming NBA showdown between the Los Angeles Lakers and the Portland Trailblazers at Moda Center promises to be an intriguing matchup. The Lakers, with a 6-6 record, have been showing mixed form, recently ending their 3-game winning streak with a loss to the Sacramento Kings. Despite this, they have demonstrated solid offensive capabilities, averaging 112.8 points on 48.6% shooting. LeBron James and Anthony Davis continue to be key players, but the potential absence of James due to injury could impact their performance. However, the Lakers have shown resilience, especially against Western Conference opponents with losing records, which bodes well for this game. On the other hand, the Portland Trailblazers, standing at 3-8, are currently struggling, particularly on the offensive front. They average just 104. 7 points per game, the lowest in the NBA, and their field goal percentage is a concern at 43.2%. Despite their defensive efforts, their offense has been hampered, and the absence of Malcolm Brogdon could further weaken their scoring ability. The Trailblazers have not been successful against Pacific Division opponents, which is a worrying trend as they face the Lakers. Analyzing the recent performances and stats, the Lakers seem to have a slight edge, particularly in scoring and shooting efficiency. However, the Trailblazers have shown some tenacity at home, and with the Lakers possibly missing LeBron James, the dynamics could shift. Portland's defense, especially against three-pointers, might give them an advantage, but they'll need to significantly improve their offense to capitalize on this. In conclusion, considering the Lakers' offensive strength and their record against teams with losing records, along with the Trailblazers' current offensive struggles, the Lakers are likely to come out on top in this encounter. The Lakers' superior field goal percentage and their resilience, even in the absence of key players, give them an edge over the Trailblazers. This is a potentially close game, and the Lakers could snag a win here, but I'm putting my money on the Blazers to keep it tight and beat the spread. Roll with the Trailblazers at a solid +8. The last prediction for today is for the match between the Houston Rockets and Los Angeles Clippers. In the imminent showdown between the Houston Rockets and the Los Angeles Clippers, we're gearing up for a riveting face-off, pitting the Rockets' recent surge against the Clippers' storied track record. Houston's on a roll with a 6-game hot streak, fueled by Fred VanVleet's relentless scoring. Their sharpshooting, with a 42% field goal success and a stellar 79.3% from the charity stripe, has been key in their winning spree. Yet their road game woes, particularly at the Crypto.com arena with 8 straight losses, loom large. The Clippers, though struggling with a 3-7 slate and a 6-game skid, are a force to reckon with. The dynamic duo of Paul George and Kawhi Leonard adds an unpredictable twist to the mix. Their 47.8% shooting and averaging 113.2 points, a game hint at untapped potential, ready to erupt, backed by their historic grit and comeback prowess. On defense, it's a clash of titans. The Rockets boast the third best defense in points allowed, showcasing a formidable defensive game plan. The Clippers, with their knack for pilfering possessions and dominating the boards, add an intriguing twist to the showdown. Weighing these factors, the scales tip slightly towards the Clippers. Their home court history and ability to flip the script under pressure give them a subtle advantage. But don't count out the Rockets, whose current form and aggressive approach indicate they won't go down without a fight, likely beating the spread. The crux of the battle hinges on whether the Clippers can exploit the Rockets' road vulnerabilities and whether Houston can sustain their offensive surge against the Clippers' solid D. The Clippers are poised to clinch a victory, leveraging their home turf and resilience, but the Rockets, with their in-form offense, are expected to keep it tight and likely beat the spread. My bet's on Houston Rockets, +6. All right, hoopheads, that's the buzzer for today's predictions. Big thanks for rolling with us. If you're vibing with our picks, slam that subscribe button and get on board. Catch you on the court tomorrow. Peace.